Even though we are not completely through the Heart and Soul process, we've already begun to see outcomes. For instance, Wyoming County has its first ever state park. We have a brand new gravel loop bicycle trail that comes through Wyoming County and our surrounding counties. We have new pickleball courts being built. We have a basketball court being revitalized. We have trails being built and discussed. And these were the exact things that we heard very early in our process, that we need a state park, that we need more trails, that we need facilities for outdoor recreation. And they've happened.
One of the goals of the Heart and Soul team was that they really wanted to try and get a community developer in the city of Postville. So my position is grant funded, it's over in June, and then there's no community developer, right? So we don't want that to happen. We want there to be someone. And so we were hoping through the Heart and Soul process to prove there was a need for that. And just recently, our amazing city clerk, who was on our Heart and Soul team, was able to find some funding for that position. And the city council, mayor, everyone was unanimous that that should happen. Everyone was completely on board with how necessary this position is.
Through the Heart and Soul process, we were able to change minds and really create this culture of change, this idea that we can make things better in our community. And that's positioned Carbondale to now do some more comprehensive planning, take the action ideas that we arrived at during the Heart and Soul process and the Heart and Soul statements that really define what's valuable to the community and come up with real actionable things that can be done.
We have a lot of folks just come into the library and talk about issues or things in town they're noticing. They now feel like they have like a hub, a place they can go and like voice that concern that's there, on a regular basis. A lot of people are kind of intimidated to go to city council meetings, speak in front of a big room full of people, and they may not have the language skills, quite frankly, to do that. So having a place now where folks feel safe, where they feel like they can come in and tell us like, hey, I have a concern about this thing. People are just more willing to share concerns and ideas and things with us.
Part of Heart and Soul, they say, you do this process and new leaders will emerge. I'm a true testament of that because I was already mastering the area that I was in. But I entered into the nonprofit world and emerged as a leader at the end of the process.
I was really inspired by the way that Heart and Soul convinced people, residents in Carbondale, to get involved in local government. There was a council seat that opened up during the Heart and Soul planning process, and we were working with the Carbondale city clerk at the time, and she told us like normally this would happen and they'd have to beg people to consider taking that seat, and this time they had 18 residents from Carbondale all submit their resumes. She had been a city clerk in Carbondale for decades, had never seen that type of a reaction from people. That was a really good sign that the work that we were doing through Heart and Soul was reaching new people. It was encouraging them to get involved. One of those people ended up sitting in that city council seat. The rest all got put on other committees and boards and engaged in some different ways.
Since I retired, I've had the time to finally focus on some of our town concerns, and this Community Heart and Soul process has opened up a whole new field of listening to everyone's stories. I think a new climate has developed of hearing stories from new people as well as old people. In fact, our Historical Society is now taking that up as part of their mission.
We had an event back in summer, early fall, where we did a walking tour of town, and I arranged everything ahead of time. We started at the farmer's market, and then we went and got tacos at one of the Mexican restaurants, and then we toured the Mexican grocery store and the Guatemalan market, and we went to the kosher market, and we went to the Somali market and got cha or tea, and we finished at another Mexican restaurant for dinner. And so we went into all these different stores and places. Most of the folks commented they had not been in these stores before. I had this feeling that if I could get people in the door, they would go back. And so I now have multiple folks that are telling me like, oh, hey, I go to this store now all the time. So I think that was another way that we've had an impact on local business and folks getting outside their comfort zone a little bit.
There was this narrative that needed to be changed, and to be one of the people on the front lines, like one of the soldiers that are fighting that battle, amazing. It's a feeling you can't replace. I only wish that more towns would want to be involved and understand what it can provide for your community.